Good, let's get started then. Welcome everybody to this Finance Committee meeting of July 26, 2021. We are recording, and why don't I just go through the list just to confirm the committee's attendance. So let's see, Mike O'Brien.
Here.
Mike Bennett.
Yep.
Drew is here. Yeah. John Smalling.
Here.
And Cheryl's not here and John's not here. Okay, and myself, Connolly. So I think first order of business is acceptance of the minutes from our meeting on July 12th. Can I get a motion to accept those?
Motion to accept.
Second?
Second.
Great, thanks. Roll call vote. So Mike Bennett.
Yes.
Mike O'Brien.
Yes.
John Smalling.
Yes.
Drew McGlinty.
Yes.
And myself, Tom Connolly, is a yes. So minutes are approved. So if we move to reserve fund transfers or line item transfers, do we have any tonight?
We do not have any tonight.
That's good news. Okay. I hope that means that Sandy's life is settling down. So we will skip what's on our agenda, which is continued discussions with Attorney Bobrowski on zoning, and move to, do we have anything on wage and personnel?
I've only been, I was gone this past week and I ended up coming in Sunday and working through about 300 emails and then still trying to play catch up. I mean, you know, some of them are not junk, but I don't have to spend 5 seconds, but obviously a lot of them are relevant and I have to take a finite amount of time. So I did not get to work on grades 6 and 7. Tom, what I'll try and do maybe is before I leave here tonight is get the stuff sent to you. It doesn't mean I won't work on it, but right now you're not scheduled to meet, I think, until August 30th. So, you know, whether it's you, me, both of us, anybody else, we should have sufficient time to come back to both you all, the Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen, with an analysis as to whether the data we've collected means that we should be making adjustments one way or the other on those grades, and whether maybe on a larger question, the entire grade and step chart.
Okay, and if you just data drop, and then since we have almost a month, Charlie, maybe I can, or more than a month, if I have questions, I'll try and do it'll be my first one, municipal one, but I can pull it together and then just run it by you, and maybe we can do it that way. That'll help.
I did send out the pay scale analysis. Did everyone receive that?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay.
So, Linda, any correspondence?
So obviously, just as Sandy just stated, she sent you all the pay scale. So you'll have that just to see the difference in grades and steps. And then the only other piece of correspondence that we actually have was from the water commissioner, and it's really just to put the Finance Committee on notice. He said he wanted to make sure that you were aware that there would maybe a request for a line item transfer from the reserve fund to the water clerical account in the fiscal 22, and that's due to the administrative assistant having to take on the unexpected responsibility to create and disseminate the annual consumer confidence report. Normally that's sent out to an outside contractor to be done. It's taking her quite a bit of time to do it, and she's already used at least half of the overtime hours that they had built in for fiscal year 22. So he just wants you to know that now, early in the year, that he might need a line item or a reserve fund transfer later on in the year.
Okay, thanks. Sandy, is that for the prior fiscal year? Is August 30th too late to do that, or?
Well, this wouldn't be for the prior fiscal year. This would be for FY22. I actually advised them to let you know, just because it's not common to use up your overtime so quickly in the year. So this is just in preparation for the end of the year. If they have other reasons why she needs to work the overtime, and they may need to use that reserve fund, but they do have their own reserve fund. Or if it's after May, they could do a line item.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. Anything else, Linda?
No,
Okay. Public participation. I see a few non-committee members on. Anything? All right, then
Okay.
our calendar says we're going to meet on August 30th. That'll be our next meeting. Is there, Sandy or Charlie, any reason that we should meet sooner?
I'm not really aware of any, I mean, the situation with Mark is a little confusing because the board of selectmen has not signed the contract with his firm and seems to indicate that they would, I don't know, maybe with the agreement by the finance committee to transfer this project to another group. I don't know if the selectmen intend to, for themselves, the planning board, again, another try at the zoning bylaw review committee, which we had several years ago, which really never accomplished anything. Heck, I know even, there were nights I was here at town meeting at town hall, and someone would sit in the parking lot and never come in. So I don't know what the board's intention is. They don't have it on the agenda for tomorrow night. I can bring it back to them on the 27th. Well, no, I think they have it on the agenda for tomorrow night. See where they want to go. I mean, obviously, I'd like to see some progress made. And maybe we can do some logistical work in terms of how we're going to move forward with this between now and the 30th. And there's nothing preventing the finance committee from meeting earlier. The only other thing to do, the only other thing I would be not concerned about, but just we're going to likely have a special town meeting on September 8th. Usually the reason for that, the primary reason is that we have the Silver Lake budget. We've got to approve that before we get a tax rate set because the other two towns approved it. So we've got to increase the amount appropriated for our assessment. We want the bills to go out by October 1st, but we didn't want to meet during the summer when people would say, well, A, we'd have a problem getting quorum. And two, we'd have people say, well, you're trying to have a meeting with people on vacation and everything. So we're going, at this point, the board approved September 8th. We're also going to have a marijuana article zoning on the warrant too. We may get other stuff on the warrant. What was I going to say? So I'll try and keep the finance committee apprised about what's showing up on the warrant. The deadline for the articles is going to be the selectmen's meeting on August 10th. There may be a reason for you all to meet sometime between the 10th and the 30th. In that case, in the sense of if you need to have some discussion about one or more articles, the Silver Lake one is fairly automatic. It's basically increase the appropriation to what we're legally obliged to come up with. Is really not an analysis or discussion that needs, but just keep that option open. And in your mind that we're having that meeting on the 8th, and you may certainly have the meeting on the 30th, but you may still need a meeting earlier than that.
Okay, so we'll be.
It may be a good idea to meet with the selectmen once the warrant is set, just to go over the articles. So both boards are familiar with the articles and know why they're on there and what needs to happen. It might be a good idea to do something like that.
Okay.
So
Let us know.
Yeah.
All right. So if I could ask, I mean, maybe just for the new members too, I mean, conversations we had earlier, we're playing a coordinative role on this, on the relationship with Attorney Grabowski, right? I mean, that we're basically that. So we're kind of Switzerland on who does it and whether it gets done. So if the board were to go in another direction, I guess that's, yeah, there's no, I mean, that seems to make sense. There are other constituencies that have a deeper interest in what the product work is going to look like. Have I got that right, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we need this planning board and the ZBA, building inspector, selectmen to be part of all this process. What I want is something successful, not pointing, I need that word in that paragraph. That's not my interest at this point. I mean, my interest is bringing the bylaws back, up to the 21st century, but not with any particular interest in mind other than let's get an updated so that we have a better and more workable bylaw. but that requires all these other groups. And I don't mean by other, like, there's some foreign or alien groups, but other
Right.
entities in the town, government especially, along with the residents in Halifax, to be a part of that process.
Sure.
You sponsored the article because you saw a need for it, meaning, I don't mean the new members, but the Finance Committee
Committee.
sponsored this back for the September meeting, a year ago, because they saw a need for a review, given that there were, we had proposals coming from everybody, and also an obvious need based on those proposals that revisions needed to start taking place. At the very least, reduce the number of contradictions and uncertainties in the bylaw. And if you see that happening by the work that these other groups are doing, I think that will make you happy about it.
Okay, thank you. So we've taken care of calendar. If we have an ad hoc meeting between now and August 30th, we'll give everybody as much notice as we can. And I'm meeting on August 30th. We'll still have that one scheduled as a Zoom meeting. I think that was our agreement the last time. And so that's calendar. Any other business?
I'm sorry, Tom, did you say that the one on August 30th, you want to do Zoom?
Yeah, isn't that what we decided? Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't, in the minutes that I had, I just have that there was, that you definitely were doing the 12th and the 26th on Zoom, and then you were going to discuss it after that. So I just want to clarify, because I didn't know that.
Given the pandemic and where it's going, we may not really want to be doing this via Zoom.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I just want to make sure I get it.
Yeah. So let's just stick with it until we get the surge. Okay.
And just as far as everything with Mark Bobrowski, I don't know, FinCom, if you're deciding this, or Charlie, do I need to reach out to Mark Bobrowski and let him know to just like hold everything, or will you address that with the selectmen and they'll advise?
I'll address that with the selectmen tomorrow, because if they're not going to sign that contract as is, then I want to tell Mark, hold off, because the board wants to do something different.
Okay.
I don't want, because he's been, I don't mean that he's been working pro bono, but he's been working with the assumption that the contract's going to get signed. If the board's going to say, well, we want these changes, then Mark, for instance, would have to agree to the changes in the contract. And I don't really want him working more and spending money, in essence, that I can't guarantee, because it's up to the board. So let me, I need to talk with the board tomorrow, then I'll get some orders from them or some direction from them tomorrow, and we'll go from there. I'll keep you all apprised.
Thank you.
Any other business?
The only thing I wanted to jump in with is just a checkpoint on the EV charging stations. Charlie got back to me. My understanding of the situation is just that most of the big companies that install charging stations, mostly they'll install the charging station, but it's still up to the customer to hire another electrical contractor to do all the trenching work and everything like that. So I think where it currently stands is sort of figuring it out for it going out to bid, which seems to make sense since it needs its own electrical contractor. And then my understanding of that is sort of like anybody can bid on a bid. I understand and appreciate that like people take conflicts of interest seriously, but I think it's just, you sell your qualifications to the best of your ability. I mean, I don't know. I know Charlie's still figuring out like what the details of the bid is going to be. I know my knowledge of the town hall, the way I would probably approach it would be just like trenching.
Drew, the details for this really aren't going to be dealt with by the Finance Committee. I mean, as you pointed out, if we need to go out to bid, there'll be bid specifications we'll be dealing with, but the Finance Committee isn't going to be dealing with the nitty gritty of exactly how the trench is going to be put in and all that.
All right. Okay. That's really all I had. And then, I mean, I called National Grid today just to make sure for the service connection that they can do it, and they said they can. They have like a simple form for that. If that, assuming that if that would be needed.
Thanks, Drew. Anything else?
Yes, sir.
Okay, could I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Second.
Okay, a roll call vote. Mike Bennett?
Yes.
Where'd Michael go? Michael?
Yes.
Michael Bryan, there you are. John Smalling
Yes.
and Drew McGlinty
Yes.
and myself, Tom Connolly. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you again on the 30th.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Take care.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.